Welcome back to Chat with Matt, and today I'm joined by Karen Tsang, the Director of Fleet Management. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell me more about you. How did you come to be at Trimac?
I've been at Trimac for 3 years now. I started in the real estate and facilities group, and now I'm in fleet management.
And your background is?
A background in engineering, actually.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see. And you're the Director of Fleet Management, which sounds very complicated.
Yeah, so the fleet management team looks at sourcing, speccing, ordering equipment for our fleet. We look at managing the utility and the major repairs during the life of the piece of equipment, and then we look at disposing the asset at the end of its life. So really a cradle to grave management.
So you make your decision, you buy the assets and you sell the assets, so you want to make sure you get the best one.
That's right.
Okay, and what's the most challenging part? Because it seems like it's a pretty broad job. What's the most challenging part of the job?
Yeah, so you think a group that brings on brand new shiny equipment would be loved by everyone, and the reality is that we have issues with vendors, and we have challenges sometimes in discussions with our branches and our regions about what is the right equipment to have.
Right.
And part of that stems from the fact that we've changed our strategy, and we really are looking at moving to a more standardized fleet. Whereas in the past, we used to have a specific piece of equipment for a specific load, for a specific customer, for a specific region. We want to get to a place where we have a standardized fleet and we can use one piece of equipment for multiple purposes. So I know you're not going to get this analogy, but the little black dress.
Okay,
so the little black dress is kind of like our truck.
Right.
You can take something that's fairly standard and you can dress it up, whether it's with a bracelet or a necklace, which in our case with trucks is the accessorial equipment.
Right.
So you can have your standardized truck and you can change out the accessorial equipment, whether you need a pump or you need a compressor. You can, depending on the application, you can remove that accessorial and put on the right accessorial for the load that you'd like to move. So it really does give us the flexibility to use a standard tractor. And we know that our business tends to be up and down.
Right.
It gives us the ability to be more nimble and react to whatever the business needs.
so you get the best of both worlds. You get the standardization that one truck can move everywhere, and you get the flexibility of being able to have different applications.
That's correct. And you might hear the word fungible
Right, I
being
heard
tossed
that,
around, and it has nothing to do with mushrooms. Fungible is how we describe this tractor that we've developed, and we've
Right.
developed it directly with Freightliner. We've taken the technical expertise of our folks in-house, worked with the Freightliner engineers to develop this fungible tractor that's
Right.
able to be used in multiple applications.
And we're the only one.
And we're the only ones in the industry that's using this. So I really do believe that this is our competitive advantage in the marketplace, and we can react to changes that will happen in our business and allow us to be flexible.
That's great that your team came up with that, and it speaks volume about the thinking and the innovation that we bring into the business. And talk to us more a bit about what kind of innovative ideas you're working on.
And innovation in the trucking space, you might think that it's an industry that's so old. What are the new types of innovations that could possibly be happening in this space? And last year we ran a test with a hybrid electric motor.
Right.
And we ran it side by side with one of our trucks, and the hybrid electric motor beat the truck up the hill. And when you start out with these things, there's always, it's like a science experiment. And we found out that the batteries overheated, so you go back to the drawing board with the company.
All sorts of issues, right?
Absolutely, and that's part of the process,
Right.
and that's part of how you develop something that's new and exciting. But the fact that Trimac is dabbling in that space in a very meaningful way is exciting. And we also keep on top of different trends that are happening in the industry that are being developed. We're seeing cameras that allow a 365-degree view of the entire tractor.
Like in my personal vehicle.
Like in your personal vehicle, and that's what we're seeing as well. We're seeing personal vehicle technologies being applied to tractors, and I'm proud to say that Trimac has invested in a safety suite in our new equipment that allows us to do the same thing. So lane departure, brake assistance, those types of things that we're used to seeing in our personal vehicles can now be used in our trucks by our drivers to enhance safety to the public and to keep our drivers safe on the road.
And how many of our private fleet, like the Trimac fleet, are equipped with that kind of technology today?
So by the end of this year, we're pretty close to half of our fleet will have this upgraded safety suite, and I'm really proud that we've invested in that technology.
Amazing. Well, Karen, knowing knowing that you're on top of this with your team makes me feel very comfortable about where this company is going and you and your team building the fleet of the future. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.